everybody, and welcome to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach himself, Lanny Irvin, on what will be a Bears Monday night edition. We're coming to you an hour earlier at 5 o'clock p.m. because our Bears are kicking off at 7:15 out there in nice, warm L.A. against the Rams as I'm freezing my ass off in Wisconsin.
You know what? I tried to tell my cousin, y'all, for those out there listening, you're in Wisconsin. I cannot save you in Wisconsin because the Packers won yesterday. You out there all on your deck with your Bears flag. You got your nice hat on. Matter of fact, you're not the only one with the hat today.
Oh, there we go, cuz.
Let's go get ours. Let's go get ours, cuz. Let's go get it.
We got
I look like a poor man's Lovey Smith.
Hey, man, you don't want to say that Lovey got his ass whooped over the weekend. So, I mean, I don't think you get no poor there, Lovey Smith. That man having a rough year. His son was arrested for sex trafficking. His team got crushed 45-7 of Wisconsin.
Take that back. I'm like a poor man's Mike Tomlin.
There you go. Ladies love Mike Tomlin too. So how you been, cuz?
Man, I can't complain. Just sitting there waiting for these Bears to play. You know, that makes my day when the Bears win. So you see, I'm all bundled up. I see you got your. So what jersey is that, cuz? Like,
this is my Devin Hester jersey today. I went with Hester. I got a little Hester love today. So I'm going with Devin and got my skull cap on and my hoodie, and I'm outside here. I said I'm gonna be outside with my team, and also because it's only an hour show, I said I can do it.
I started to drive up to Soldiers Field and park my car and just sit there like I was at the real game. Put up my phone and just watch it like I was really watching the game. I'm a little jealous because them people in LA. That's not real football weather. That's not football weather in LA. I tell you, it's soft out there in LA, Jay. We need cold weather. This is football weather today.
This is football weather, and I guarantee if you pulled up in Soldier Field talking about you gonna prop up, Auntie Lori's gonna send her people after you. She ain't letting nobody out there. So as you can see, it's quite windy out here in Wisconsin, and the flag is blowing around all over the place. But that's all right. I don't mind being draped in the Bears flag because we're going to whoop us some Rams booty tonight.
That flag's sweet, though, and we are going to win. I'm going to give you credit for your outfit today because normally, like last week, you embarrassed me in front of Mark Montgomery and Corey Irvin with the Northwestern. But okay, I like that. You're looking the part today.
I'm looking the part today?
You're looking the part. You came strong today.
I appreciate that. Well, everybody, welcome to What's Up, Cuz, with me, Jason Palmer, and Lance Irvin, and we're going to talk about everything that's going on here in Chicago sports. And before we do that, make sure you download that app, the SportsZone Chicago app. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Google Play. You can get it off iTunes. Go ahead and download that app. That'll give you access to all of our shows and everything we got streaming, even past podcast shows. If you miss a show, you can always go there and check one out too. So, check out our show on SportsZone Chicago. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, thank you. And go ahead and leave a comment for us. We'll try to get those comments and questions up during the show, or if you're watching us live on YouTube. We appreciate that too. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page for SportsZone Chicago. That way you'll know when the shows are coming on, and we give you some extra information as long as you subscribe. So go ahead and do that as well. Our numbers are growing, and we really appreciate everyone subscribing and downloading that app. It's really a big thing for us. We're still a newer company, but we're definitely growing, and we appreciate everybody checking in with us, Lance.
Yes, we do. We appreciate that. We need all the fans that we can get, especially when I'm clowning on my little cousin over there, though. But it's not much to really clown on. The only thing I told him, I cannot save him. I can save him in Chicago. I cannot save him. Maybe Maya could come off the screen to save you. I don't know. We haven't seen Maya. Does Maya still help the show, Jason? I don't know.
Maya is still a big part of the show. Please
I can't tell. I can't tell.
She's currently working.
I thought she was scared of the Michigan State grad we had on there last week. I don't know.
Maya is currently working in her regular job today. And we have Ivan. Ivan is sitting there. Ivan, pop up and say hello to the people. I know you're out there. There he is. Ivan's producing our show for us.
What's up, people?
See, that's my guy right there.
Lance, I was like, oh. I thought Maya was behind me when you said it. I was like, oh, man. I felt their presence. I was scared. I was scared for us, is what I was scared for.
Man, Maya doesn't run the show. Maya, no, I can't wait to catch Maya next week. Hey, Maya, you know where I am. Get at me, Maya, okay? You have my number. You can call me, Maya.
All right. Now, when you get in trouble, don't say nothing to me.
Hey, just because you scared of mine, I'm not scared of mine. Maya,
Okay.
get at me. You know who I am, Maya.
All right, cool. Well, coming up in a few minutes, we will have our buddy Joseph Phillip from the Chicago Crusader. He's always calling in. He'll check in with us. So Joseph will be coming in at about 5:15 today. And then guess who else we got on the show? After Joseph comes on at 5:15, because we started a little bit earlier, we're going to have Sean Sierra. Sean is checking in with us at 5:30. He's going to talk to us about all the stuff we've got going on here at SportsZone Chicago and all the future shows. And then at 5:45, Ivan's going to jump in, and we're going to lead into his show, the Barely pregame show, which is going to follow us tonight at 6 o'clock. So it's going to be an all-family show with Joseph, Sean, and Ivan for today's show. Does that sound good to you, cuz?
That sounds great to me, and I don't really have to say much because we have football covered, baseball covered. I could just be the coach and agree or disagree and make the final argument and make the final answers and say whatever I want to say now. But Jay, I can't wait to get Sean on the show.
Yeah, Sean gonna be fun. But I hope Joseph get on. We forgot to tell him the show is starting early, so I hope Joseph is coming on at 5:15. Somebody call Joseph. Hey Joe, we going on at 5:15. Make sure you check in.
Why you do our other cuz like that? You didn't tell the cuz come on,
I
Jay.
forgot, man. I was busy, man. I'm sorry. So hopefully he got the message and he'll be popping on here in a few minutes. But hey, let's talk about some hot topics. You good for that?
Oh yeah, I'm always good for that now.
All right, well, let's talk about baseball. The World Series, the Dodgers yesterday come out there with a 4-2 victory over the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in Game 5, which means we're going to Game 6. And if you remember, your cousin last week predicted who was going to win and in how many games, Lance?
You said they was going to win in 6, and I just think cuz I couldn't disagree with you because to keep a lineup like the Dodgers intact, that's an explosive lineup. And it's tough. Tampa Bay, they showing up, they doing the best that they can do. But I tell you what though, that man right there, that can't be Mookie, is it? That can't that ain't Mookie. That's not Mookie over there. It's just tough, and they pitching and they hitting. And at least one thing Tampa did, they was able to win a couple games, right? So they feeling good about themselves. But sometimes, like I think I said last week, or at least on a couple of shows ago, sometimes the other team just has too much talent. That's it. Nothing against Tampa Bay, but I think we called it before this. I mean, we called it, when is that, Jay? When the show first started, when we talked about baseball way back in August or July, we said the Dodgers or the Yankees. So I think the Dodgers definitely gonna walk away with it.
Yeah, the Dodgers, man, they got a lot of firepower on that team, man. But I say Dodgers in 6, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa wins this game tomorrow, man. That team has been they have been very resilient. You got to admire the fight in them. They're basically a bunch of players that nobody knows. Nobody knew the manager's name. Hell, I still don't remember his name exactly off the top of my head. But they're a team with one of the lowest payrolls in Major League Baseball. They don't have the big name stars, and here they are going toe-to-toe with the LA Dodgers, who got one of the highest payrolls in the league. So it's been a really great series too, man. We talking about Game 5, but did you see Game 4? That crazy ending?
You know what? I missed that. So clue me in on that crazy ending because I was too busy dealing with basketball around that hell.
So
crazy ending.
Crazy ending, ninth inning, Tampa Bay up. They're getting ready to try to tie the game. Guy hits a bloop single off of Kelly Jansen. The center fielder then bobbled the ball. The runner from first just kept running. It was a hit and run. He kept running around the bases. He trips halfway between third and home. He trips, does a complete somersault. So the center fielder gets the ball, throws it home. The guy is dead to right at home. All the catcher has to do is catch the ball. He didn't catch the ball. He misses the ball. The ball skirts away. The guy who's fallen down now gets up, does like a little juke move, runs back and dives in the home plate and is safe, and that's how the Rays won Game 4.
You know what? Sometimes you have to have a little bit of luck on your side. How many plays can you count on one hand that you've seen actually happen like that?
None. And it was funny. I told my wife that too. I said, I've seen some crazy stuff in my 50 years of watching baseball. I have never seen an ending like that, especially in a World Series, which I just think made it even better,
See, but these are things though, Jay. Like people get on high school players, college players. Stuff happens in the pro level. Yeah. So I mean, sometimes it's just meant to happen like that, and it happened like that. Time out. Who was that on our show without bear stuff? Who was that who popped in on our show without?
I don't know who this brother is. He usually wears sweaters, but today look like he wearing a coat or something.
Who the hell is this?
It's Joseph Phillips.
Hey, what's up, guys? I just popped up out of nowhere, man. I thought I was in Alice in Bearland or something, man. I woke up, I looked around, I said, man, look at all this Bears gear, man. What's wrong, baby?
There's rules to our show, Jason. Joseph, there's rules to our show. Ivan, did you tell Joseph Phillips there's rules to our show when the Bears play?
I wasn't invited to this party, man.
He knows what's up. I mean, he knows it's game day.
Wait,
I don't know his problem.
I wasn't invited to this party. I just got a call like 10 minutes ago.
You know what? We're going to excuse you. I'm going to excuse you this one time. Don't ever disrespect us again like this, Joseph Phillips, when the Bears play.
Man, I sound like the guy on the drum line, man.
So, Joseph, this is the ad-lib show, as you can see. we started hour earlier, and then we forgot. Oh, I guess we're supposed to tell Joseph.
Jason got the Bears flag blowing in the back. What's going on? He got the big mug.
He got some tea in here, too.
Man, what's up, cuz?
What's up, Joseph? How you feel? I see you got a little orange on, though.
I even got his jersey on, man. I feel left out, man.
You know.
Hey, he flexing, too.
So, hey, Joseph, tell us what you've got going on this week in the Chicago Crusader Newspaper. What stories are you working on, brother?
Okay, the 3 stories I'll be working on this week is the CIA A. It's one of the oldest conferences in college basketball for Black colleges. Mm-hmm. They will be collaborating with esports to do a future project initiative in e-gaming. So that's where the trends are going to nowadays. E-gaming, that's the new sports. It's coming up. My nephew's involved with it. They're actually giving out scholarships in e-gaming. A lot of these colleges. Actually, my old school, Robert Morris University, were one of the top dogs in e-gaming. We were top in NAIA too, but e-gaming, man, you know, that's where everything's going now, especially with COVID-19 kicking in. And man, it's a special thing. And then in addition to that, I'm doing a story on Kobe White. And I know this a while back about being named to the all-rookie second team. I just wanted to give him his proper recognition. After doing a feature story on him last season, I wanted to revisit that. The interview that I did with him with the Crusader in 2019 or last year. And I kind of did a follow-up to that story on him being named to the all-rookie team, second team. And then last but not least, the Dodgers defeating the Tampa Bay Rays in Game 5 of the 2020 World Series.
Wow. Yeah, you got a lot on your plate there, Joseph. I think Lance got a question for you.
You know, because you read my mind, because I do. Let's talk about the e-gaming. I know that's big. I know a lot of people have stocks and running e-companies. I think Carmelo Anthony talked about that. Talk to me, Joseph, about the e-gaming. Like, what does that entail? Are they like creating games? Are they letting college athletes create games? Or what? Yeah. That's a big industry these days. I wish I had stock in e-gaming.
Oh, yeah, that's a big investment. Everybody's starting to go toward e-gaming. And, you know, if you grew up in a household playing Tecmo Bowl, Double Dribble, you know, come on, you part of the Irvin family. You know, that's all y'all did.
Everybody in the family played except me, though.
Yeah, me and Nick had some wars in the basement.
CJ,
I didn't even know that.
I never had some battles growing up, brother. It started. This is how it started. It started on the Nerf rims, then it slowly evolved into e-gaming. You know, so but the new e-gaming, a lot of them are a lot of RPG, big time competition. They competing for. I guess a lot of them are competing professionally also in college. So they're getting scholarships off of this. They earning their school monies. They're giving their schools rankings. Just a lot of things connected to it. It's almost like college football, you know, where it's becoming a big name, especially with COVID-19. A lot of people aren't coming in contact with each other. So where you think everybody's at, just like us, we're on the computer. You know, we're interacting, and that's where everything's going. And we've always said that we made fun of the athletes, always made fun of the guys that like to stay on video games and play all day. Now they laughing at us because right now they like, we don't have to run anywhere. Our thumbs do all the work. You see what I mean? And then you don't have to hear the black mother saying, you need to go get a job and get off that video game. So Now he needs to stay on the video game and play, So.
Big money. I think I saw Jay. I don't know if you watched one, but I saw one. What is the prize money for that? I think I watched one with like $1 million. If I'm correct.
Yeah. It's like the Madden tournament. I know I saw a Madden tournament, $1 million, playing for millions of dollars, rankings. Actually, what was that I was covering last year? I think
Fortnite is the one that paid the big money.
Crazy.
Yes, that's the one my son keeps trying to trick me into putting it on his system. But I told him that game is too addictive. I had walked in at like 11 o'clock, and I walked in the front room, and I told him to get off the game. I came back 2 hours later. His lips was white all around here because he was addicted. He is addicted to Fortnite. So I was like, you can't play this no more.
Wow.
Just let him have some fun. Not at 1 a.m, though, but
I was like, I told the kids I got on the earphones. I said, it's past y'all curfew. I said, y'all got a real curfew and a virtual curfew. I said, it's time to say good night to both. Okay.
You know what, Joseph? I think that's actually one of the things. We're going to look into getting somebody from the e-gaming industry here on our show because it is really huge, and it's been getting big the last couple of years. There are colleges who are offering scholarships for it, and the prize money is huge too. And it's another avenue. And I remember when I was working at the magazine, they had actually reached out to us because it's getting so big. They need referees and officials.
Yeah. Oh,
what?
So I was like, because these competitions get serious, man. These dudes, and apparently there are rules to them. So I was like, man, y'all need to send me what the test is all about. Your cuz is a hustler.
Time out. There's refs for these games.
Yeah, they got refs. They're officials at these events, man. It's a lot on the line.
Real business.
And they serious. I don't know if they check to make sure you're not using an illegal controller or what.
Right. You ain't put in
right. Yeah, but they definitely have rules to them. So I know they were looking for some officials, and they called our magazine trying to look for it. And I was like, let me pass you on to somebody else. I didn't know what to do, but I'm definitely gonna start looking on it, man. That's something I can do. Your cuz, man. Give me my paper.
Man, you see, I'm sitting there looking at you like I'll talk to you offline. We need a piece of that. You see, I said we.
That's
because
right.
of take Mac with you.
That's right.
Man, that's big business.
Hey, cuz this is my second e-gaming story I've done actually. The first one I did is on my nephew, J-Note. He does like music, has the e-gaming thing. But I mentioned in his story that Robert Morris University was like one of the top dogs when it comes to e-gaming, when it comes to schooling and scholarship opportunities. Now he's grown since then, and that was last year. Things have grown since then, and now I'm seeing Jackson State. They're starting to get involved, and all of the HBCUs they're starting to get involved. So,
they're gonna need it because their football program just got put on probation.
I know, right? That's sad. Poor prime time, baby.
It wasn't Prime's fault, though. It wasn't Prime's fault.
They should have told him that before he walked in the door, man.
Yeah, right.
you don't offer nobody a job and then like, oh, by the way, we're $1 million in debt.
But sometimes, like you said, they won't tell you until you sign the papers.
Right.
My fault. We forgot to tell you we're $1 million in debt.
Right. It's just like marrying somebody and then telling you, oh, by the way, I was married. I'm still married to my ex. Like what?
I mean, stuff like this happens. And speaking from my seat, some stuff the schools will not tell you. Like I just said, trust me. You think you ask all the questions, they'll leave some stuff out now and then. You come back months and what? Why you didn't tell me that? We thought we told you, or you didn't ask. Okay.
Yeah. Tell me about it. So let's talk about some other hot topics in the news we got going on today. Today is an anniversary. Joseph. 15 years ago today, and Lance's too, our Chicago White Sox won the World Series. Let's go take a trip down memory lane, shall we?
Come on, Jay.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmeiro over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. Juan Uribe with a play, charging it, throwing it, and the White Sox celebrate their first title in 88 years.
Yes, we did it.
That was a tough moment right there. I remember that day. I was at the ticker tape. I was at the ticker day parade on that day, and well, actually after it happened, and I was low key just looking in envy like. They beat us to the World Series. I was just so upset, but it was a nice thing to see, to see you guys celebrating. We wasn't invited. We wasn't invited.
See, myself and my cousin Jason was watching Kenny Williams pop bottles. Pop. Where was you at? Man, James, we was watching Kenny pop bottles.
I was actually at home with my best friend Eric, and he said, so Eric and I are crazy, because we did all the Bulls celebrations together. So he said, hey, man, when it gets to the clinching game, because Eric lived in the suburb, he's like, I'm coming to your house in the city. So that way, when they clinch, we can get out there and do our thing as soon as it's over with. So, he came over to my house, and the White Sox won it. I think I jumped the highest I ever jumped in my life. Almost hit my head on my mama's living room ceiling. And she was screaming. I'm screaming. Eric's screaming. We all hugging each other. It was obviously, for me, it was the best sports moment of my entire life.
Was it?
Yeah,
why you say that, Jay?
Because, the White Sox are my favorite team out of everybody. And, I was 35 at the time they won it, and them was 35 in the longest damn years of my life. I ain't never think they were going to win it. So, when they finally won it, and then Jermaine died. Jermaine Dye had a great series. He ended up being the MVP of that game as well. If I'm not mistaken, it was Jermaine Dye who did that. And Jermaine did his thing. There he is. There he is holding that MVP trophy. JD. It was so good to see the brother win that MVP trophy, man. And the White Sox, what they did in 2005 is, I don't know if a team can ever do that again. The way they went through those playoffs and they swept the Astros the way they did. It was pretty amazing, man. So I was just euphoric.
I mean, you always happy, at least when a team from your city wins. Mm-hmm. And I was definitely ecstatic because I wasn't really a Bulls fan. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here in front. I was mad when the Bulls was winning the championship. I'm a Pistons fan. I don't care nothing about the Bulls. I told you I'm not even going to get started how we used to spank the Bulls. But I wasn't even happy when the Bulls won. But I was happy when the Sox won. Being from Chicago, I looked like Ozzy. That looked like Ozzy. Just pulling for Ozzy because I thought Ozzy did a really good job of being a manager that year. So I was happy for the Sox. Plus, we had lost for so long. And I'm sitting there like, man, yeah, we finally got us one. We got us one. Because every people, either you Sox or you the Cubs. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want the people on the north side to think they was doing something. I was like, yeah, y'all still losing. That's
right. That's right. I was happy that they did it first, and I rode that rug for as long as I could until 2016. So I had 11 years of just grinding in their face. So.
Let me tell you, Jason, that was a hard 11 years. Like I said earlier, I mean, my buddies was riding me every time I got to the barbershop. It was like, you got the Cubs, that team. How could you even think about that team? That team was first. I was like, look, bro.
It was 11 years. It might as well have been 100. It might as well have been.
It was tough, bro. But guess what? Hey, we both broke our curses, man. We did it together, and now we're on the other side of that thing,
Well, now it's about who can win it again before the other one can again. So
that's right.
So we're kind of back in the same situation. But I am serious about, I have offered an olive branch to my Cubs friends and families. I do want to see it where it's both teams in there playing each other. I think that would be the ultimate battle. I think the city will implode upon itself if that happens, if it's them two going at it in the World Series.
But Jay, am I right? It's only been twice where both teams have made the playoffs in the same year.
They've done it a little bit more than twice. They did it this year. They did it a few years ago. One of them, I think, was a wild card team. But before that, it had maybe only occurred once or twice. So it ain't been more than 5. So it's a rarity. This year, and this year you can kind of argue. This wasn't really a real season. Kind of like everybody made it. It was like a hockey playoffs where everybody made the playoff. So, we'll see what we got going forward next year. Both teams got some holes to fill. I do think the Cubs are in a bit more of a precarious situation than the White Sox, but I do think the Cubs have a strong enough team to make the playoffs. And if the National League Central is as weak as it was this year, they'll be back there again.
Well, I know that's a humble thing to say, Jason, but you guys are in the driver's seat right now. Y'all got all the weapons. What are you talking about, man?
We ain't got no manager, Joe.
Yeah, but he'll be here. Trust me. Y'all getting warmed up right now.
Lance, you want to manage the White Sox? They got a job open.
Man, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news now, but what about Philly? We thought Philly was in the driver's seat, even though I think the Sox is a little bit different. But with that being said, you just never know. That's why when you get there, you got to make the most of it.
You do.
So with that being said, though, and like Jay said, who we getting for a manager? Because I'm still waiting for you to call me fresh out. Both of you guys called me and said we have jokes.
Hey,
we have jokes.
Y'all about to get Tone Loc, baby. Y'all about to get
So do y'all really think they hired Tony back?
I can't say no. I talked to Bob Nightingale today on Sean's show. And he said that the job is Tony's if he wants it, that it's been offered to him already. So, here's the thing. We haven't heard any other names mentioned, which is pretty weird. They haven't mentioned any other names. The only name we've heard is Tony La Russa. Do I think Tony's going to eventually take it? The man is 70-something years old. He ain't trying to be running around 162 games during the summer plus the fall. He don't have time for all that. I don't think he's going to take the job. But it remains to be seen who will be the leading candidate.
But you heard my theory, right, about this managerial position, right, Jace? Have you heard it yet?
I have. Yes.
Okay, the Jack McKeon theory.
Yes.
Yeah. I have to give it up for Tony, man. I think he's going to bring that respect to the locker room, man. He's a very intimidating figure, but like you said, you want to go new school.
You know what? I gotta ask you too, and Jay, you more into this than I am, both of you guys. Other than Dave Roberts, Dusty Baker, Joseph, are there any black managers that we can get that they at least talking about or anything? Wow,
that is a good question. I haven't heard any African American candidates.
A minority candidate?
Well, I've heard Sandy Alomar name mentioned.
Yeah, we heard Sandy.
Alex Cora,
but I haven't heard any African American candidates named yet. And that is a little concern. But as you know, with the Bulls organization, they know how to flip some stuff up on you because it's just like the Bulls coaching search. They was like, oh, we're going to bring in an African-American coach. We're going to bring in an African-American GM. 5 days later, the Bulls hired Billy Donovan.
I'm just saying. At some point in time, maybe one to get one other than, truthfully, I'm sitting here and I said, Dave Roberts, Dusty Baker. I said, man, am I missing somebody? Am I missing something?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they shouldn't hire Tony. I don't want nobody to say that I'm saying that. Right. I'm just curious. If Tony's name came up, we don't have nobody out there. Like, how about this? I don't know what he's doing, but how about Ken Griffey or somebody? Call him, at least throw his name out there. He was a hell of a player. I'm just thinking out loud, just trying to throw a name out there.
Right, Ron Washington. I know these are like familiar names. Ron Washington. Yeah. And then there's some brothers that's out there, that's probably are looking for managerial jobs that were intelligent baseball players, but they work in MLB management, a lot of these guys. So they probably, I'm not saying they're not looking for managerial jobs. I'm just saying that most of them want to get into the GM positions, or they like the scouting positions, most of them. Sometimes they don't want to deal with the day-to-day operations of being a manager and dealing with the personality because it's such a short margin of error. But that still shouldn't disqualify them from at least being named in the managerial search, because I hear the same names all the time. Even though you're bringing back a name from a guy that was retired for 9 years, that just shows me that they're not taking into consideration any African American candidates. They should have called Jermaine Dye, like at least, he the former MVP, give him a call,
what do you think, Ivan? Cousin Jason just dipped off. See, them Packers fans on you. Stop calling me to come save you. I just got your message too. I ignored your phone call. I ignored your phone call because I told you.
I think that's a valid question because you see a limit even in my search right now. I'm trying to Google search how many African American managers are there, and I just keep coming up with like Dusty,
Dusty and Dave Roberts,
and Dave Roberts, and Dusty and Dave Roberts, and that's it. But you do see a lot of African American bench coaches and base coaches, which is like, okay, well, when is the next? When did they graduate? You know what I'm saying? Like, when is the next tier? Because normally, unless you're like a old grizzled veteran coach who just likes to be a bench coach, who's good at coaching instead of managing. Mm-hmm. You could be there. You could be at one team your whole career if you're that good, or you could have a job, for a long time in the league. But as far as up and comers, I just where's the names?
Right. Last time I heard like a name consistently, like when it came to African Americans. Like, and I know he's passed, but Don Baylor. Remember Don Baylor?
Yeah, I remember Don.
Like he was like him and Dusty Baker. When you thought of African American managers, those are like the first two names that I always seen.
Yeah,
their two names. I haven't seen anybody else.
Was Griffey Senior ever a manager, y'all?
I think he never. I'm not sure if he managed. I know he was a coach, but
Gotcha.
Okay, all right, Joseph. Hey, thanks a lot.
Go there.
We will not see you next week because we will be on vacation, but we will see you the week after that. And this time I'll let you know ahead of time so you don't show up.
Yeah, man, I can wear my Bears gear next time.
He did that on purpose.
I know. Jason be good. That's all right, bro. I got you, though.
He already got
commercial break. We'll be right back on What's Up, Cuz. Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, Lancy Irvin. Hey, Cuz, guess what?
Up, cuz?
We got a poll question, brother.
What we got? What we have? What do we have? What do we have?
Last week's poll question. Last week it was who's going to win, the Dodgers or the Rays, and the Dodgers got 100% of the votes. So that one didn't really go as well. So we tried to mix it up this week. We got a new poll question. I was going to post it for us here. So the Summer Olympics were postponed this year due to COVID-19. Which sport did you miss the most? Was it boxing, swimming, gymnastics, or track and field? Remember, our poll question is sponsored by the Chicago Crusader Newspaper. Go to www.chicagocrusader.com and you can answer this week's poll question. Lance, what's your answer on this one? Which sport did you miss the most?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm going to exclude boxing. But I think gymnastics and track and field, like I like the speed. I like the gymnastics. Jay, that's tough for me to answer right now. That's a tough one.
I'm kind of with you. But I'm going to say gymnastics because I really want to see Simone Biles try to go for this thing again and try to sweep all the medals, the gold medals, because I think she's the greatest gymnast of all time, and I'm sure this was going to be her last Olympics. She was going to retire after this one. So I miss Simone. Hopefully we'll see her in the summer of 2021, but we got to get this COVID thing under control first,
I mean, I thought about, I'm just saying, just in general, swimming, Michael Phelps. So I thought about Dominique and gymnastics. Simone was the next person I thought about. I want to say gymnastics because you out there by yourself on an island, even though it's a team sport. Man, Jay, you on the uneven bars, on the parallel bars, you doing the floor exercise, and you jumping and you flipping 3, 4 times, 5 times in the air, and if you have a slip, just seeing how they look like if they mess up, I feel bad for them. You make one mistake and it's basically done. So I want to say gymnastics. Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah, I agree because you ain't getting my old butt up on no beam doing no handstand. I'd be done broke my ass. But that's it. So, hey, let's go ahead and bring our guest on because he also happens to be the owner.
And bring him on first.
So we probably don't want to be late. Joining us today to talk about all the shows we got and all the content we got coming here on the SportsZone Chicago Network is one of the founders.
Let's see if he represents. If he doesn't represent the Bears, he's getting put on.
Sierra, I know he represents. Sean, what's up?
What's up, fellas? How we doing?
Come on, man.
Okay, I see Sean came correct. He has a hat on. He had what type of shirt is that, Sean? Is that Monster of the Midway?
Come on, man. Come on, Lance. I know you got to know. Come on. This is Israel Adonijah's in conjunction with the Chicago Bears because he's a big comic book freak. So he made the Monsters of Midway, and he made some of the stars of the teams. Last couple of years are his superheroes. So this is the logo, Monsters of the Midway.
I got to get one of those shirts then. See, I knew you was going to come on correct because that other guest came on. I'm not even going to mention the other guest's name. He jumped on the show. Bear stuff, nothing. What's up, Sean?
Yeah, I don't even know, man.
I know.
He's a Cub fan. What do you want?
Yeah, that's a good.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I mean, I'm keeping it real today, boss. Look at me. I'm outside. I got on my winter hat. I got the flag on. My neighbors are all in their pockets, walking by, giving me ugly looks.
Don't you got a conceal and carry? You're shooting BB guns, rubber bullets. Don't you got like rubber bullets you can shoot like?
I keep it right next to me.
Get that guy started, Sean. Why you throw that out there, Sean?
Yeah, you know how they go in the prison. They got the rubber bullets. They don't kill you unless you're in the head, but
And that man a pretty good shot too. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave that alone. I wouldn't run up. Don't run up.
We wanted to have you on the show first because first of all, we wanted to say thank you for giving us a show, and we hope you've been very happy with the work we've done so far and the work we got going in the future. But we want to talk a little bit about just kind of the history of what you've done here at SportsZone Chicago, how it was created, and what is your vision for kind of going forward?
Well, it was started, Maya and I, we bounced around a couple of different places, and when we decided to venture on our own, we realized that there really wasn't enough people of color behind the mic, and that bothered us. Okay. The main reason I got into sports broadcasting to begin with is, I'm listening to some people sit and criticize athletes who've never played it down, a quarter, a trip up and down the court, an inning, a shift in hockey, never played a sport past high school max. Okay. Mm-hmm. But they're sitting there giving us their opinion and their expert analysis on these sports. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. These guys have no clue. They would say some just dumb stuff. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I think I've heard, but it's understandable coming from you because you've never played at a high level. So that's what got me into sports. I wanted to get into sports broadcasting. So fast forward and we, as I said, Maya and I, we went around a couple of different groups, and when we decided to go on our own, we said, you know what, why don't we create a platform for people who look like us, okay? Because we look at, black folks look at sports a little different than white folks. Hispanic folks look at sports a little different than white folks. Mm-hmm. Women look at sports a little different than white folks, okay? And why not? Because just because the target market for everybody is white males 25 to 55, there's other people who like sports too. And they want to see people who look like them speak about sports. And because we talk about sports differently as well. So, we said, why not? What the heck? Why not? So we decided to do that. And this is not just for people of color, SportsZone Chicago. It's for people who are qualified, but it's also, it is a place where people of color can get their things out there because there are many talented people. There's only 2 sports talk stations in Chicago. They're landlocked. They each have their own token person of color on the air, Lawrence Holmes on the score, and Jay Hood on ESPN. And that's it. So there's more talented people out there, more talented people of color out there. So that's why we decided to create this. And it's worked out wonderfully. We have quite a few shows, quite a few podcasts, quite a few live shows. And again, the thing that Maya and I wanted was we wanted just to give an opportunity to people whose content was good. And, we didn't promise anyone anything. All we promised was to have your stuff heard. And if it was good enough, someone may come and call in, but if not, you're going to have your content and your thoughts heard and your voice be heard. And that's all we wanted.
Yeah. And I know another thing that you all were thinking about too, Sean, was, us being able to give a voice from athletes from our community directly to our community and to also discover people, for instance, like, our girl down there in Miami, Jahiza DeJesus, we were able to, on our show, and you had her on your show as well, promote what she was doing. She watches our show every week and reaches out to us. Talk a little bit about that element too, because I think a big part of it also was, these athletes, they probably want to come on networks and shows like ours, but the PR people who work at those organizations, kind of shy them away from us. So talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, there's just tons of athletes out there, and not all of them are professional multimillionaire athletes that we need to, whose stories we need to hear. Okay, like Joisa. Okay, we definitely, that's a phenomenal story. The Dominicana who is a fitness model and who's really doing big things. Well, again, this is why we want to promote people who look like us, who talk like us, who sound like us. And it's no slight to anyone else. It's just we've been underrepresented, and that has to change. And so when you meet, meeting people like Johaisa and tons of other people that we brought on, as guests, it's a blessing because now we got friends in different spots. So we go down to Florida, we got a place to crash, right, Johaisa? No, I'm just kidding. But now we actually have friends all over the country, and that's the thing is that, we always want to highlight people who are doing good things, whether in sports and get them, get them some recognition because the things that some of the people do aren't always going to be on ABC, NBC, Fox, ESPN, NBC Sports. There's some great athletes who are doing some great things that are on a local level. And we here in Chicago, we want to focus and we want to keep those people on, get those people noticed.
First, Sean, I want to thank you for having us on, but you said something I wanted to ask you about. You said ESPN and the other station is landlocked. Could you describe what you mean by landlocked for the average viewer out there?
Yeah, so
by being landlocked.
By landlocked, I mean that there's no room for anyone else. Okay, there's that you can't go anywhere because they have their shows and they have their morning show, their afternoon show, their midday show, their evening show, and it's very difficult for people to get in. If people get in, chances are it'll be the overnight. Okay, which very few people listen to. They have a following. Don't get me wrong. You got truck drivers, you got people who work graveyard shift and things like that who listen. But for all intents and purposes, they're not going anywhere. The people during the day aren't going anywhere unless you do something silly. Like talk about a woman's attire. Mm-hmm. So there's really no room for people to get in anywhere, and that's the thing that bugged me because when you get people who are knowledgeable, that makes a big difference. That makes a huge difference because people are going to want to listen. People are going to want to listen to, and they don't want to just listen to a shtick, okay, a bit, okay. Mm-hmm. It's funny. The people also want to hear good analysis. okay, and especially from people who know what they're talking about. So, I think we have quite a few people here and quite a few of our guests who know what they're talking about, and that's what I mean by landlocked, not having, they can't go anywhere. No one's going anywhere. They can't move. No one's getting moved out of their slots. So.
I mean, speaking about future guests, I've been getting calls from a guy like Melvin Eli that was on our show, and Napoleon Harris was on the show, Tim Hardaway. They've been calling, asking me, do we have any future shows coming up? How can they get in touch with you, or what type of future shows do you have coming up?
Yeah, we have quite a few shows coming up. I mean, we're working on trying to get a partnership with another network of local Chicago guys. All right, to bring their content on. We're in the process right now, and I love Jason's mug. Like he swears it's like 50 below.
I know he's over there thinking about a way to get rid of me for my sister-in-law Corey. But go ahead.
We're gonna do we're in the process of working on a gambling show. Because that's huge. Obviously now that in Illinois it's legal. So we have quite a few, and then I'm in the process of looking for a preps show, and one of the things that I thought about doing was maybe having some high school students doing their own podcast, half hour, so they could talk about their high school sports, and that'll draw in some of the city schools, some of the suburban schools. But what it does is now it gives these kids an option. Now it gives these kids something to actually look forward to. These is literally hands-on, on the job training. And, so when you go to college now, maybe this sparks the next, national sports talk show host or whatever. Right. And this is what we're talking about when Maya and I decided to do this, is you never know what could spawn from this, because all you need is an opportunity. You give us an opportunity, we take it and we run with it.
That's right.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Great. If not, you know what? At least we give them options. At least we've exposed them to that. And if it's something they don't want to do, they can say, hey, you know what? I tried it. It wasn't for me, and move on. And I'm good with that. Just give people the options. Just give young people the opportunity to try it. Okay. And then let them make the decision from there.
Speaking of giving people the opportunity, one of our newer shows that we got that is coming on right after us, we're leading into them, is the Barely Pregame Show. It's a new show that was created a little bit, maybe about a month ago, and it's hosted by our super producer, Ivan and Michael Halatek. And Ivan and Michael, they're going to join us here for this conversation as we finish up our show and lead into them. Ivan and Michael, welcome.
Hey, good evening. Thanks for having us on.
What's up, guys?
Michael, how y'all doing?
Okay, what's up, Sean? I've already been on here for a while, so they already Lance and Jason have already seen me, so I'm hello again.
So
yeah,
Michael,
we're sitting backstage just waiting to come on. I was in the backstage and for half an hour waiting to click in to get in. So thanks for having us, and Sean, thank you for the opportunity to we actually started the Barely Pregame Show. Literally, we put it together 1 week before the season started. Sean got Ivan and myself together. We clicked immediately. So we do a pregame about an hour and a half before game time. I'm kind of limited on Thursday night. Sean actually, when the Bears played Tampa, Sean pinch hit for me as he was me for the Thursday night game versus Tampa, because I had a little bit of a work commitment, and I don't know what I'm going to do for 2 weeks from now when the Bears are on Monday Night Football one more time against the Minnesota Vikings. But we're awfully excited, and it's nice to be talking about a 6-1 Bears. Hopefully to be 6-1 by the end of tonight. And we'll be the first NFC team to hit 6 wins.
So, guys, let me just ask you a little bit about the Barely Pregame Show. First of all, I love the name. I love the name on it. Ivan, how did you come up with the concept for the name, and what do you all try to do in the Barely Pregame Show?
Honestly, it was Mike that came up with the name. We just threw it all together, like he said, literally in a week, and then it just kind of, I guess the theme and everything just kind of clicked to me. I guess when I was for some reason I was thinking about Family Matters, and it's like it just kind of like the shots that they had and everything like that. and I happened to have some footage of Soldier Field, so I just kind of threw it together. Mike came up with the name. I just came up with the concept, but it was a team effort.
We threw a couple of names out. Sean, I think Sean actually didn't like Barely pregame when we first came up with it, but he got outvoted 2-1, and we just ran with it. We have a pretty simple concept. We talk a little bit about the week prior. We talk about the keys to the upcoming game. We have a little segment each week about Bears history, specific to the opponent they're playing, and then we finish off with our picks for the game, and it's worked well.
You know what? Let me throw out there. I'm getting straight to it now. My man, well, I'm a defensive guy. What are we gonna do with that bad man on the other side of the field tonight? What are we gonna do about that defensive player of the year, Aaron Donaldson coming through? Give me some input. My brother Nick called me.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Let me answer that. I'll tell you what. Look at the blueprint of what the 49ers did to Aaron Donald last week, and that's what you got to do. You've got to run right at him with the ball, and you've got to double team him. You got to make sure that he doesn't get into the backfield. If you look at last year, I think he had 2 sacks against the Bears. It was the beginning of Trubisky's end of his tenure as a Bears quarterback. And then the year before that, the Bears absolutely smothered the Rams offense. So that's what you got to do. You got to run right at them, just like you did so many defensive greats in years past, from Rosie Taylor all the way, Rosie Greer all the way down. These big, these quick, these athletic defensive linemen that can dominate. You can't run away from them because they'll just pursue and knock the hell out of you. You got to go right at them.
Well, the good thing is I think that they're starting Alex Bars tonight. I think they're starting Alex Bars tonight. They should, because Rashawn Cowers just struggled, and
Rashawn Cowers a joke.
Exactly, Sean. He's a project. Projects are third stringers. Projects are damn. We like. There's a big problem. There's a big problem going on if third stringers are starting, and he's starting right now. So there's a big problem at left guard. I don't like. For me, you have to continue to smother him. Cody Whitehair, you need to step up. You're a vet. You've been getting.
I was going to ask you about him.
Your center's been getting blown back in the backfield all year long. It's time to step up. There needs to be a statement game from a Cody Whitehair. Sean, I think you would agree.
Yeah, I said that earlier, and Cody Whitehair. One of the things that I was thinking about was, why not move Cody Whitehair back to left guard, okay? And then whoever their second center, I'm trying to remember his name, like Arlington Hambright or something like that, or no, Sam Mustipher. Let's see what that center can do. Let's see what he can do. You sit there and there's people talking about, well, the biggest thing that bugs me is that people play because of a contract, and to me that's just a bunch of bull. That's bull. Okay, you got James Leno, who's a joke. He's after 18, where he reached his peak, he's declined. In 19, he's continuing on that downtrend this year. He needs to get out of there. We don't have a left guard. Why not move Cody Whitehair there? Why not why not try these people? And you know what? And as a former coach, I can understand what happens, but we've put people there are players that are called gamers. You know what I'm talking about, Lance and Jason. Well, they suck. They just look like just a hot pile of just crap in practice. And like, man, you don't get a damn thing. And you put them in the game and the lights go on and it clicks.
Right,
and you're like, what the hell is that in practice?
Right. And I know you've been advocating for that for a long time with the Bears,
Yeah, because they're gamers, right? And I've coached gamers. And why not see? Because it can't get any worse. It can't get any worse. So put Spriggs in there, left tackle. Move Cody Whitehair back to left guard. Okay, put Mustipher or whoever your backup center is at center, and see if we can rock with that. See how that works. And if it doesn't, then you can move back to whatever it was you want. But try that out.
At least you shore up who's close.
Sean, let me ask you a question.
Sean,
let me ask you a question.
Sure, Mike.
When Daniels went down with his injury, they brought in Alex Bars. So they had Alex Bars ahead of Coward. why did he not start last week?
Was it injury?
Shoulder. He had a shoulder.
Shoulder. There it was. That was
shoulder
shoulder injury. Because I asked the same question, and we found out this week. I asked that same question. Like, wait a minute, Alex Barr is a kid out of Notre Dame who had a reputation for being a nasty son of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and he played like that. He had his old line coach there last year. He still wasn't able to get on the field. Don't ask me why. But why not give him a shot? Why not give him a shot? And I wondered why, because remember, he gave up a sack his first or second play when he came in, and then you didn't hear his name the rest of the game, which is for an offensive lineman is exactly what you need to hear is not his name, because that means he's not giving you penalties. It's not mean he's not giving up sacks. It's not he's not blowing assignments. When you don't hear an offensive lineman's name, then you know he had a pretty decent game.
The problem is a lack of attention to detail on that offensive line. It's the little things that can go a long way. Lance, as a coach, Jason, Mike, the same thing. The little things can go a long way, and right now the little things, the attention to detail is lacking. I mean, I hope they have a better game. They've been better. They've been better, but they're not where they need to be.
No,
without a doubt.
But I'll tell you what, I don't want them to be where they need to be. I don't need them to be where they need to be right now in week 7. I don't need that. Give it, give it to me in 12, 13, 14, going into the end of the season. Now's the time, and especially since the fact that we had no preseason games, we had no training camp was crazy, no OTAs in the offseason, all that other stuff. Give me a 5-1 record like we got now, and let's continue to build. And then once we hit the game 12, 13, or week 12, 13, 14, 15 through 17, then that's when I want us to be where we need to be. Because if we need to be where we need to be now, the only place to go is down.
I need to see it. I need to see it, Sean. I need to see it.
It's kind of interesting. I kind of think, it's kind of like, sometimes we hire people based off of their pedigree and not give the job to the person who's been doing the job. You can say, oh, well, this person's got this many degrees. Well, this guy's been doing this job for 20 years, so he knows the plays backward and forward. I'd rather go with the experience, but that's just me. But, we'll talk a little bit more about that. Guys, thanks for coming on. I know you got a show coming up in a couple of minutes. I'll let you get out of here, but thanks for coming on. Everybody watch the Barely Pregame show. It's coming up right after us with Ivan Vargas and Michael Halatek. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Thanks, fellas.
No problem, guys.
Thanks, guys.
So, Sean, as we get ready to get out of here, thank you as well. Sean's already gone, but thanks for Sean as well. Lance, we're going to wrap this puppy up here. We got a couple more minutes, and I couldn't end this show without saying we did get some really good news today about a former Chicago Bear and the head coach of the Washington football team. Ron Rivera today completed his last chemotherapy treatment for cancer. I know you are a cancer survivor, so you know exactly what Coach Ron was going through. Today was his last chemo treatment, and he's on a track to good health. What are your thoughts there?
Man, definitely happy for Coach. I mean, those chemotherapy treatments, they could be hard, and I understand some of the stuff that he went through. So I'm definitely happy for Coach. I'm pulling for him, and I wish him the best in the future.
Yeah, me too, man. Ron Rivera's, he's one of the solid guys in this coaching business,
Good
and
coach.
he was part of that Super Bowl championship team, so he's always going to have a place in the heart here of us in Chicago. Once again, our poll question, ladies and gentlemen, go to ChicagoCrusader.com. Which Olympic sport did you miss the most with the Olympics being postponed? Was it boxing, swimming, gymnastics, or track and field? Go to www.ChicagoCrusader.com and do your vote. So, Lance, that's going to do it for us this week. I'm going to go inside because it's freezing out here. Oh, yeah, I forgot. A reminder. Go get your flu shot, everybody.
What the hell is that?
I got my flu shot yesterday because my wife told me, I'm 50 now, I'm getting old, so I need to start doing the stuff that the old people do because I'm close to the at-risk group. So I went to my local Target. I got my flu shot, and man, that thing hurt. They were playing around. That thing hurt, and they didn't give me no damn sucker afterwards either, so I was bad.
I took mine like a man.
I didn't.
Walked on out of there. We don't come home, sit up like that. Oh my goodness. You just embarrassed me on TV. I mean, on podcast again.
But hey, go out there, people. Get your flu
Please
shot.
definitely do.
Remember, wear your mask. Practice social distancing. Wash your hands. Let's get through this COVID thing. Lance, no show next week. We will be on vacation, but we will be back in 2 weeks. And we'll do this again because in the meantime, you stay safe out there. And I love you. And thanks for joining us.
Love you too, man. Stay safe out there. Take that flag down. I'm telling you.
Until tomorrow.